Welcome back to the DFS Sweatshop. I'm your host, your DFS Jerusalem, coming to you live from the list. You got 150 entries, and then you're a shark, and I don't fuck with you. So there's too much good shit on here. This is the often imitated, never duplicated. I'm here with my lovely co-host. Thank y'all. Stay safe. Enjoy. I may have been calling in to work. You're gonna be in the running for the Snowflake of the Year. Get your shit together with your snowflake. I'm at the crib, man, and I'm just finishing up. Stop. Throw them bitches in the main. I'm telling you. You're gonna see the results, bro. You're gonna see it. This is what's really gonna help you out. You know how I feel about the home dogs. There's a lot of fight in the home dogs, and I really think a lot of shit to go over tonight. Who that scored all them points over there? Player of the night. Get him in your lineups. Get him in there, and let's go get this money. Thursday, let's go, and remember, in the sweatshop, we always keep it 300. What's up? What's happening? This is the big homie, the DFS Jerusalem, and you can follow me, of course, on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. Today, we will be discussing the upcoming 10-game MLB slate popping off on Monday. We're going to look at the entire week, see how it all shakes out. Shout out to the homies from the Fantasy Phenom, man. What's happening, y'all? Deshaun, my guy. What's happening, my brother? Good to see you, man. So, we've got a lot to talk about today. Actually, I've been hanging back, enjoying spring break with the fam, and also taking a look, just trying to see what trends develop and how things set up and shake out for the start of MLB. A lot of the talking heads, man, are doing just that, talking, not knowing what the fuck they're talking about, not knowing what's going on, but it's all good. Whatever. MLB, bro, MLB success, MLB DFS success is a lot more trend associated than you may think. And at the start of the season, bro, it's pretty much a crapshoot. And the first set of guys, or the first people to actually grab a hold to the best trends, the newest things, the things that's happening, are going to be the most successful. And that's what we do every year inside of the sweatshop, man. And it's about that time we tear the gloves off and go ahead and start kicking some ass. I want to go through and kind of chop up to you in order, the 5 most important takeaways that we've got from this last couple of weeks of MLB. Okay, so the number five most important thing that you can take away from what's been going on is stacking is still the most relevant, the most important part of MLB DFS success. It is easily, without a doubt, the most important part of roster building in terms of MLB DFS. That is evidenced by the Philadelphia 20-point explosion that came out of nowhere that nobody saw coming, that is going to happen damn near every slate that we need to be looking at. And how guys from 1 through 5, all the way to 9, 6, 7, 8, 9, all these guys went ham, everybody hit jacks, and people were just standing around like, oh my god, how did you know to get those guys? Stacking. Okay? Very important. Pittsburgh, last week, went ham. A couple of times, I'm talking about 15, 16 runs. The whole point, I don't care what anyone tells you, bro, you can get on here and talk about play after play and bat after bat the night before the actual freaking batting order is released. Like, you know who the fuck is going to be in the batting order. You have no idea. You have no idea who the batting order is. The only thing that you may have a great idea on is who's going to be pitching, because the rotations, you might learn the rotations, and that's cool, I get that. But you have absolutely no fucking idea who is going to be batting. So talking about batters the night before you even get the lineup sheet is fucking pointless and ridiculous to me. Makes absolutely no sense. It's jaw-jacking, it's jerking off, and it's a waste of time. Okay? And we don't do that. So, like I said, like I was the first one to break this down to you and explain this to you a couple of years ago, stacking is the very best way for tournament success. Your job as an MLB DFS player is to scan the slate. Scan the slate. Like, we got 10 games. Your job, if you want to win, is to find whatever team, whatever game, whatever team on this 10-game slate that's going to score to 15, score to 16 runs, okay? And you hone in there. You hone in there. And then you use things like BVP, DVP, Team ISO, Team Over. You use those things in order to pick which guys are going to do the damage from the game that you like. That is it. That is in its most simplistic, easily stated way. That is how you win at MLB DFS. And to take it a step further, you get with a group of guys that understand that, and then you chop it up with them throughout the day. Okay? And you can't build no line. You can't make shit up. You can't scratch your ass and pontificate on what batter you're going to play and all that. You can't do any of that shit until the lineups come out. Once the lineups come out, about 5 o'clock Eastern time, you pretty much have a good idea what the orders are going to be, what the rotations are going to be, and where everybody's batting and who is batting. Because guess what? You already picked up that catchers rotate. I mean, a guy can't crouch down for fucking 4 days in a row. They're going to be the teams carry 3, 4, 5 catchers, right? So just that right there in itself tells you that there's no way that you can just know who the batting orders are, and the night before a slate you can talk about it and know exactly what the fuck's going on. You have no idea. So all you can jump all over is the pitching. That's really it. Okay? And that's what we're going to talk about. That's what this show is about. This show is about developing a pitcher pool, a pool of pitchers that we're going to use, so that when the lineups come out around 5 o'clock Eastern time, we already got our pitchers right here, and now we're building our stacks. That's what it is. Shout out to homie Chris. Shout out to Steve Smith, man, in that VIP with me. So we took a little hiatus, so to speak, as the season really cranked up, and of course with spring break. But now, let's get it in. Someone, why can't a catcher crouch down 4 days straight? Girls do. Exactly. They're not girls. They're men. Okay? So that's the number 5 thing. The number 4 thing is Bryce Harper this season is going to be the best stud to play. He is the best stud to play. That's what it is. Bryce Harper is on the mission. He is balling out, and that's just what it is from him. Okay? Number 3, Ohtani is the real fucking deal. And while this dude is under 10K, we must play this dude. Okay? Ohtani's the real deal. Whether he's batting deep down the order, whether he's pitching, Ohtani is the real deal. Number 2 thing, the attack on Miami, the attack on San Diego, definitely real things. Okay? We got good pitching against these teams, we attack. And I'm going to tell you something else. I would much rather have a good pitcher in a bad spot than a bad pitcher in a good spot. Do not fall for the okie doke. Don't say, oh my God, this team sucks at hitting. This pitcher sucks at pitching. Well, I'm going to play the pitcher. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Okay? Why is Harper better than Stanton? I'm learning here. Because Stanton is just, Stanton is shaded and heavily shaded by that New York Yankees line, right? And Harper is just better. He's just a better player. Okay? Which leads us to our last takeaway for the start of the season is that the Yankees are not just going to run over everybody the way people think they are. They're not. The Yankees are not just going to walk in there, fuck shit up, and walk out. That's not what's going to happen. That's not what's going to happen. It's going to be a tough race. The dude went 0 for 7. Stanton, the dude went 0 for 5. Hadn't done that an entire season in Miami. But already, in the pinstripes, going 0 for. Okay? So, don't just think you can just stack the Yankees and play the Yankees every day and you're going to be fine. No, that's not the case. That is not the case. That's our number 1 takeaway, okay, from the season. And a little honorable mention, a little side note is pitching in Coarse is okay to play. It is okay to play a pitch. I cannot stress this enough. How many people, Jeremy, what's up, big homie? How many people had absolutely no of the Atlanta pitcher yesterday? Had none of them. Well, he went in and he just threw 9 Ks and killed him and crushed him. Okay? You can pitch in Coarse. You can play a pitcher in Coarse. I'm not saying be a fool and play a shitty pitcher in Coarse, but Sean Newcomb is not shitty. He's actually pretty good. and he went in there and he did the damn thing. So let's go back. Let's go back to the top 5 takeaways that I have for the start of the season. All right, number 5, stacking, still the most important element to DFS baseball. I don't care what anyone says. The most important thing. Number 4, Bryce Harper is the best stud to play day in, day out. He's going to get it done. Number 3, Ohtani is the man. Let's play with some Ohtani. Number 2, the attack on Miami, the attack of San Diego is a real thing. Okay? And number 1, you can pitch at Coarse. You can always pitch in Coarse. Do not let the motherfuckers fool you. Oh my God, Coarse. Oh, I'm scared to play a pitcher. No, Sean Newcomb, you should have played him. All right? Let us go ahead and jump into the slate. What we're going to be doing is not talking about pitching. We want to hammer down our pitching prospects here. That's what the show is about. We cannot. I'm not building lineups here. We can't talk all great like we know what the fuck is going on because we don't even know who's going to be batting. Let's deal with what we know about. Let's talk about pitching. First game we got going to be the Toronto Blue Jays going to Baltimore to take on the Orioles. We are in Camden Yards, one of the more friendly spots for pitching here. We got Dylan Bundy at 8.1, J.A. Happ 8.5. Now Dylan Bundy in his first start was really good. Really good. Okay? And this was against the Houston Astros, man. 26 against Minnesota in his first start. 23 against the Astros here. So you should look at this and it should tell you that Dylan Bundy has picked up where he left off last year and is fucking good. Okay? Steven Smith says stacking. So when you say stacking, would you be like 1 through 5 hitters or 6 through 9 hitters? Yes. It depends. It depends on what you like. You can go 1 through 5. You can go 6 through 9. You can go 9 through 4. Like or the wraparound joint. Whatever you want to do. Just know that if you think the first guy is going to get on base, why not play the second guy to bring him home? And if you think the second guy can hit, why not play the third guy? Or why not play the fourth guy to get a grand slam? Simple. Okay? So, this is a very friendly park for hitting. 2 teams that can crush if they are on. But, on the other hand, also a couple of teams that don't mind striking out. And I think that is easily a solid reference to Dylan Bundy here at 8.1. I think he is definitely going to be usable. Let's have a look at Dylan Bundy against the Blue Jays in games past. He's seen him 3 times last year, 23, 25, and 31. This should tell you that Dylan Bundy is definitely a legit option here. So, Bundy on a 10-game slate, 8.1, solid price on him. Definitely a guy that I'm going to be considering. J.A. Happ had a fairly decent start, and we know that the Baltimore Orioles is a team that can strike out. The problem for me here is going to be what the Orioles do at the crib versus left-handed pitching, excuse me. If you take a look, early season, look, only 12 plate appearances, right? There's a 50% K rate. Yeah, that means they strike out a lot. But 600 ISO, okay? So, very small. Okay, speaking of trends, when Toronto is facing a left-hander, play the bats. When facing a right-hander, play the pitcher, especially those that can get Ks. Cool, gotcha. So, this is a very small sample size, and this is going to increase. This is going to increase as we move on throughout the season. But the Baltimore Orioles, man, they've struck out 50% of the time in their 12 plate appearances against left-handers and the 600 ISO. So either they're hitting jacks or they're striking out. And I am not afraid at all. I'm not afraid at all of J.A. Happ. I think that you could definitely play some of the Baltimore Orioles bats here. So I am not going to be on J.A. Happ. But I definitely think that Dylan Bundy is in play here. He is highlighted. All right, next game we're talking about Cincinnati Reds going to Philadelphia, the Citizens Bank Park, to take on the Phillies here. The Phillies are really good. That is another takeaway, bro. The Phillies are no joke. They are really good, and we talked about this in the beginning of the season. We talked about this. Now, you get them at the crib versus left-handed pitching, where they've been fairly decent in 58 plate appearances, 234 ISO. That is nice. The WOBA is above 300. I think 316 is good. What is that? Excuse me, my apologies. 429 is going to be the WOBA there. So that's going to put Philly bats in play for me. No Cody Reed at all for me. So Baltimore has a 600 ISO. You mentioned at the start of the season. I think you want to be at 160. Yes, 160 is a ISO where you want to be. It's an ISO where you want to be. It's league average. League average is 160 or above. Then we've got Ben Lively at 6.8. We take a look at the Cincinnati Reds and them being on the road versus right-handed pitching, where the sample size is still very small here. Let's take a look. 91 plate appearances for them. Let's see where they rank in terms of ISO. Yeah, 115 ISO. So they've been struggling some to start the season. They've been struggling some to start the season against right-handers. So, and see, a lot of this, to me, a lot of this has to do with not having Cozart, man. Cozart really was the glue that held this Reds offense together, especially at the top of the order. So, Ben Lively, I would consider Ben Lively. I would consider him, not strongly, but the 6.8 price point there does help him out. And I think that Philadelphia is definitely in play against Cody Reed, so that's gonna give Ben Lively a little bit more consideration from me, because I think that they're gonna get the win. I really do trust that the Philadelphia Phillies will get the win here at the crib. So I'm gonna have a look at Ben Lively. Next game we're talking about is the Milwaukee Brewers and the St. Louis Cardinals. Now we're in Busch Stadium, one of the toughest places to get the ball out of there. You got Julius Chassin at 6.3, Miles Mikolas, who had a very good start the last time out. Let's take a look at him. 14 fantasy points at 6.8 salary. That's decent. You want to see a little more than that. That's decent. I would have an issue with playing him here. Really hard to get the ball out of Busch Stadium, man. Very solid spot for pitching. So Mikolas at 7.3 could be a guy that I'm interested in. Chassin, no way, Jose. Not playing him. The Cardinals are one of the hotter teams in the league recently, so definitely not going to be wanting any Chassin. Next game, you guys could be the Atlanta Braves going to Washington to take on the Nationals. You got Max Scherzer at 12.6. I'm going to be honest with you. I very rarely play these stud pitchers. I rarely do it. Especially, well, okay. Now Scherzer can be different. Let's take a look at Scherzer. I will look at Scherzer at home against. Let's look at Scherzer at home against the Braves. Yeah, he got hit up that one time last year. Yeah, he got hit up. Okay, so we've seen him already. 16, 26 last year. 5. Yeah. I don't want to play it. I don't want to pay up. I don't want to pay up. Scherzer is boom or bust tomorrow. He's going to come out pissed. Jeremy Ladd hit the nail on the head, man. Atlanta has too many lefties. I don't love it. Two nights ago, Philly put up 19 runs. I am guessing that would be the stack there. Yes, exactly. That's the whole point. The whole point of MLB DFS is finding out who that team is going to be every night. And the more you watch baseball, the more you watch the trends, the more you look at the numbers, the better it helps. Duke Max says, "Hey Mo, is the point difference on FanDuel DK a thing like in basketball?" No, don't even worry about it. Doesn't even matter. Doesn't even matter. It's completely different scoring. Doesn't even matter. Doesn't even matter. So none of the pitching here at all. The one thing that I do want you to notice is I think Julio Teheran does pitch a lot better on the road than he does at the crib. I want to have a look here at home, man. -6 and 5 away. Well, 2, but 24, 29, 27. Much better pitcher on the road. Let's look at him against the Nationals. -6 in his early one. That was at the crib. But on the road in Washington, 24 and 26. So if you want a really solid, and a lot of times when you have these ace-style pitchers on the mound, the overall scoring of the game is low. Usually the overall scoring of the game is low. And if you're telling me that we're not going to see a ton of points from the Nats and Tehran, on the road where he does play a lot better, you might that could be like a sneaky contrarian tournament play. Talking about Julio Teheran, okay? I don't know why he hates pitching in SunTrust, but he's much better on the road, and he's pretty good actually against the Nationals in Washington. All right, so next game, you guys could be the New York Mets going to Miami to take on the Marlins here. Noah Syndergaard, easily lockstep play, a guy that you could definitely look at. The Miami Marlins have been so bad this year. Okay, so according to ISO for Baltimore at 600, that is a very possible stack here tomorrow. I would say it is. I would say it's a very possible stack, but I also want you to understand that it's only 12 plate appearances. So the higher that the number of plate appearances, the more keen we can be on the ISO number and how that affects the team. Okay? Teheran was bad at turning field too. Must be in his head. Gotta be in his head, bro. Gotta be in his head. So Syndergaard, probably the highest priced guy that I will look at today. 12.3. You know, pretty exorbitant, but still, you know, I mean, this could be an easy 10 strikeout game. The Miami Marlins just suck. They're horrible, and you can definitely take a look at them. Now they did beat, I think they did beat Washington last week, but that was an aberration, bro. Most definitely. But so give me some Noah Syndergaard. You're in at 5.6. That is stupid cheap. Like I said, a lot of the times these games where you have that A-style pitcher are low-scoring games. So if you played Scherzer and you needed some salary relief at the pitching spot, you might want to come over here and take a look at Urena at 5.6. He's a guy that really gets beat all the way up. But I mean, I don't know how much you would. I don't know how much you would, contemplate playing him, but I wouldn't have a major issue. Miami, a creep team. Yeah, man, they suck. All right, next game we got is going to be Los Angeles Angels going to Texas to take on the Rangers here. You got Garrett Richards, Doug Fister. Don't like either of these pitchers here. This is a very friendly spot for hitters. The Los Angeles Angels are kind of jumping out to me as a team to go after Doug Fister with. Then you got the Texas Rangers at the crib versus righties, who in seasons past we've seen that be a big thing for them. Hasn't really come to fruition yet, as the ISO is at 125 in 176 plate appearances. So I don't know how amped you'll be to jump on them, but I definitely think that the pitching in the spot is not what I want to use. Definitely not what I want to use. So no pitcher here. Next game we got is going to be the Houston Astros and the Minnesota Twins. We're at Target Field, a pretty neutral spot for hitting, in my opinion. You got Justin Verlander, 11.7. He is a guy that if you don't want to spend all the way up, but you still want that A-style arm, that's definitely a guy that you can use. We've seen the Twins get off to somewhat of a slow start. I'm taking a look at them at the crib against right-handers, and let's see how they fared so far. Okay, not bad, man. 225 ISO. This is only 45 plate appearances and a 17.8% K rate. That's fairly low, so you are taking a chance if you were to jump out there and play some Justin Verlander. But I do think that he is in play on a 10-game slate where you have Syndergaard and you've got Scherzer at the top. The next game you've got is going to be the Seattle Mariners going to Kansas City, the Kauffman Stadium, man, a very friendly spot for pitching here, and you've got 10-mile-per-hour winds coming back toward the infield. So Marco Gonzalez, 6.2, Jacob Junis at 7K. This is the one. This is the one that we're gonna really have to examine, because a lot of gems could come from this game. I mean, you look at cats like D. Gordon and a nice lefty-righty matchup against Jacob Junis. You look at Jacob Junis at 7K, who's had some pretty decent games. I mean, 29.3 against Detroit and then opened the season with. So this could be a good one, bro. Junis kind of sticking out to me. Junis is sticking. 10-mile-per-hour wind come back toward the infield, man. That's kind of sticking out to me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest with that. And then you've got the Seattle order without Nelson Cruz, which is a little bit weakened. So maybe you could take a look at Jacob Junis here, okay? Next game we got is going to be San Diego Padres going to Colorado to take on the Rockies. You got John Gray. Check, please. You can play that shit. People are going to always say you can't play a pitcher in Coarse. They hate playing pitchers in Coarse. You can play John Gray here against the San Diego Padres. That's one of the worst teams in the league. One of these cats is going to hit a jack. It's going to happen. But for the most part, I think John Gray should be fine. I think John Gray should definitely be fine here. No Clayton Richard for me. Stack up some of those Rockies bats. You're going to be good there. Last game we got is going to be the Arizona Diamondbacks going to San Francisco to take on the Giants. So what we're looking at is the absolute best place for pitching. You got Zach Galli at 9.8 facing a pretty hot San Francisco Giants team where I think that comes to an end. Okay? Great numbers at Coarse. Shout out to the homie DJ Dog, man. Yo, Jeremy Ladd, yo, if you're watching this, I miss you. Okay? I'm just be real. I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say it. I miss you. You're a great guy. You're an awesome friend. Love to have you in the shop, doing your NASCAR thing, doing your thing. I love you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay. Do you stay with certain numbers for stacks like 2, 2, 2, 2, or nah? Listen, to me, it ain't a stack unless you got 4 motherfuckers. I ain't with that weak shit. I like to stick it all in the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sometimes. Most times. Yo, all right, this is what I do. This is what I do. Okay, so let's just say I love the Diamondbacks, okay, as a stack. Let's just say I love them. Okay? Let's just say 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going Peralta, Marte, Goldie, Pollock, and Descalso. Right? Like right now. This is the stack that I'm rocking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then, let's say I build all of my other lines. I build everybody else. I got everything else popping off. And I can break I will break the stack off at the 5 point. If I see I have more money to get another guy that I liked initially, or more. Or if there's somebody that I can get further down the order for cheaper, which help me up in another spot. Theoretically, I want to go 1 through 5, but I can break that 1 through 5 stack off and just go 1 through 4 from the lead off to the cleanup man, and play somebody else in that 5 spot. Or if I'm trying to rock out a 2 stack, like say, because I got a few more hitting spots. So say I got the lead off man, I got the one and the 2 man, and or for another team. Say I got 1 through 5 of I got 1 through 5 of Arizona, but I only have 1 and 2 of San Fran, but I like the 3 guy. I'll break the 5 off here, add the 3 man there. You see what I'm saying? So it's all how you want to do it. It's all how you want to do it. But just make sure you're correlating. What about skipping a player? The only way I'll do that is if the only way I'll skip a player is say we dig into it like we do in the line drive at 5, and one of you all point out to me, hey man, I know you like an Arizona stack, and you might say, yeah, you like Peralta, Marte, Goldie, Pollock, and Descalso, but Avila is like the BVP with Avila and Derek Holland is crazy. His last 4 at-bats against Derek Holland were, extra base hits, 2 home runs and 2 doubles. And Ketel Marte's last 18 at-bats, he hasn't hit him. He hasn't gotten a hit. So if you're telling me that, if you bring that to my attention, damn right, I'm getting rid of Ketel Marte and I'm going to play Avila. You see what I'm saying? See, us watching baseball and knowing about baseball, the recent state of baseball is what is going to put us on a specific stack. Well, what puts us on the players is the numbers inside of that stack. Okay? The numbers on the inside. And that's why we hop into the DFS Sweatshop VIP and we chop those items up. We get into the team ISO, we get into the team WOBA. That's what puts us on the stack. But when we get deeper into what actual players do against the other players and what he does in situations, then that's when we can play the guys that we want to play. Okay? So Zach Galli, definitely a guy that I'm going to be using. If I had to make a if I had to make a 1-2 right now, if I had to make a 1-2 right now, if he was like, yo, 1-2 right now, top 2 pitchers, it would be the beginning and the end of the slate. It would be Dylan Bundy and it would be Zach Galli. If I had to build a lineup right now or building a pitching right now, my 2 pitchers on DraftKings will be Galli and Bundy. Those are my favorite 2 pitchers on the slate right now. Galli and Bundy. Now, as I'm getting into making tournament shit and getting real jiggy with it and paying up for high price guys, of course you've got Syndergaard, who you like. Probably the cheapest pitcher that I think I could get my hands on. Might even be some Urena. So yo, this is a good slate. This is a good slate. I'm gonna go to pitchers and kind of highlight them so we see all the pitchers that I like. Okay, this is according to salary. According to salary. Okay, Syndergaard, Verlander, Godley, Bundy, and in the mid tier. That's the high price guys. Godley, Verlander, Syndergaard. In the trends have barely started, Chris. Exactly. In the mid price, you got Bundy, John Gray, Mikolas, Junis, and Ben Lively. And for the cheap, the only guy that I could even consider for the cheap is going to be Jose Urena at 5.6 as a completely contrarian salary-saving pitching option. And then Tehran, too. We talked about Julio Tehran. So we got Urena, Tehran, Lively, Junis, Mikolas, John Gray, Dylan Bundy, and then Syndergaard, Justin Verlander, and Zach Godley. Okay? Now, if you want to make like a Godley guard with Godley and Syndergaard, you can do that. If you want to make a Verly God, a Godley Verlander or whatever, you can do all that shit and get jiggy with it. You know what I'm saying? A Bundy Lander with Bundy and Justin Verlander, Cinder Bundy. This is the Cinder Bundy lineup, whatever you want to do. Yeah, I got a Bundy God. Yeah, Bundy and Godley. I like that. So that's how we rocking, man. We've discussed the pitching, chopped it up, hit you with the 5 takeaways to start the season. If you want to get in what we do, okay, it's very simple. You go to the website, right? It is www.dfssweatshop.com. Upon your paid subscription, I will usher you to the very best Facebook group online. That is where we do all the chopping of the chop it up, get shit together, man, and do the damn thing. It's going to be a very solid evening for us. Let's get it in. Cinder Bundy? Cinder Bundy. Steve Smith says, when looking for a pitcher, are you looking for strikeouts or the win or what? I'm looking for Ks, baby. I'm looking for Ks. Ks can save you. Okay? Look at Ohtani. 12 strikeouts, family. 42 DraftKings points. Ks can save you. I'm so serious. Ks is what it's about. If you got a guy that can strike out, or you're looking at a team, see, and that's the thing, because the teams that strike out the most are usually teams that hit the ball the hardest. They strike out because they're trying to hit the ball so hard, right? And you've got a pitcher that can capitalize on that, like say Toronto and the Orioles is a game that we've been talking about. That's a classic big strikeout game. Either big strikeouts or big scores. This is gonna be a 10-8 game, or it's gonna be a 2-1 game. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what we're gonna get here. So, and Bundy, I think is on the cooler side of that easily. Love him at 8.1. John Gray. Oh yeah, John Gray as well. Definitely love John Gray. Definitely love John Gray. Let's make sure we got him locked in too. We talked about John Gray. Yeah, we got him. All right, cool. So let's go out, have a very solid and profitable evening. As a matter of fact, you remember, bro, get with me in the Sweatshop VIP. Let's go. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it honest. And let's always keep it 300. Peace.